Washington, Coach Peterson, great respect for him. A great respect for him. And I was at Utah State. I spent many times trying to pick his brain on his program at Boise State and what they did at that place. So he's got great head coach, great assistant coaches. His program that's definitely moving in the right direction. A lot of skill. Look at the offensive side of the ball. There's a lot of playmakers, guys that make big-time plays, can change play that may be very little in yardage all of a sudden into a big play. So they've got that, a young quarterback who's playing well. Young offensive line, in my opinion, keeps getting better every single week. So it's Chris Peterson coach team, which is they're going to be fundamentally sound. They're going to take care of business. I know they haven't won all the games that they wanted to win, but they on defense, great respect for what they do on defense, and we've watched their defense for many years. They're technically and fundamentally sound. They're athletic at every spot, and that shows up in the way that they tackle. That shows up in the way that they ask their kids to play and the certain different things that they ask them to do, different concepts within coverages, the way they play within the box with the linebackers, the way they slant their defensive linemen. So they have athleticism at all the spots, which is good. And then they're a smart defense. You know, their goal is to line up and pre-snap with some confusion, but not to confuse themselves. And that's a sign of a defense that can hold some things in their head mentally and take it from practice and then apply it onto the football field. And you know, that doesn't surprise me. It's been like that for a while. But you can see as they've progressed through, you know, time here, the last year and a half or 2 years, they've gotten much more cohesive as a defensive unit just from getting used to the system, I would say, and they have good players. You have
a freshman who's coming off a 405-yard passing game for Washington, and Jake Browning. What's he showing you in terms of the skill set he brings?
Well, he showed his toughness in the last game because that was a game where, you know, ASU decided to do what ASU does, which is no surprise. They're going to blitz you like crazy, and they're going to come from all over the place. And he took a lot of shots. He took some sacks. He kept getting up and throwing the ball down the field. So he made some big-time plays for him in those settings, and obviously it wasn't quite what they wanted at the end of the day. But for a freshman, if you walked in as a coordinator and say, hey, we're going to get after this guy and we're going to knock him around the way he got knocked around, you'd probably feel pretty good about your opportunity to have success at the end. But this kid just kept on fighting back and made some big throws. He can make all the throws. You know, he can get on the opposite hash, and he got a very quick release. He can spin it all the way across, you know, 3/4 of the field and get it out there to the hitch real quick, and the guy catches an off coverage and makes 8 or 9 yards, and then he can also throw the slants, and he's got good touch on his deep balls. So he's another good young quarterback.